Hello and welcome to another yoga studio. I am Kat, if you haven't been with us before, and it's great to have you all here today for our little full body stretch. So we're going to be sitting for this. So if you want to grab a bolster, rolled up blanket, cushions, yoga blocks, whatever you need to make sure you're going to be comfortable whilst you're sitting and kneeling on the mat, then make sure you grab some props now. Just pause the video, come back when you're ready, and then we'll all get started together. Okay, so when you've got everything you need, we are going to find a comfortable position to sit in, and I'm actually going to take a little cushion, sit on that, just lift my hips up a little way, and then find a comfortable position to sit in. We're going to try and sit in cross-legged pose if we can. Trying to keep our pelvis square with the floor underneath. So this is why if you've got that couple of cushions or a rolled up blanket or bolster, you can then just find that little bit of length up through the spine. Hands are resting on your thighs or on your lap. Doesn't matter where. Close your eyes and we'll take 3 breaths just to settle into our practice. So breathing in through the nose when you're ready. Out through the mouth. And then 2 more breaths on your own. In through the nose and then out through the nose or the mouth as you prefer. Okay, good. So our first positions we're going to come into is a twist. So keep the block cushion whatever you've got underneath your hips if you need it. And we're going to take both legs out in front. And we're going to take the right leg up and cross it over the left thigh. If you can't cross it and you need to keep it on the inside of the thigh, that's absolutely fine. We're still going to be able to twist. Sit nice and long up through the spine, and then as you breathe out, wrap the arm around the right leg. So we've got left arm wrapping around the right leg. We twist to look towards the back, and then the right fingers can just rest on the floor. So if you want to close your eyes at all, you can. Otherwise, we're trying to just fix our gaze on one point behind us somewhere. And then hold. Keep the breathing nice and easy, nice and slow, nice and quiet. So if we found our breath has sped up, got really noisy in any of our poses, become really aware of our breathing, that might mean that we are taking the pose just a little bit too far, and we can ease off out. And obviously, being this one of our deep stretch yin type classes, we are looking to hold the poses for a bit longer, so we don't want to actually be in a really super deep stretch because we need to be able to hold it for a few rounds of breath. Okay, so we're going to release it. Come back into the middle, and while we've got this right leg bent and fixed up, we're going to take it round so that it sits on the inside of the left thigh. So again, if you want to pop something underneath your hips to help with this, we can just sit on that little blanket, cushion, whatever we've got, lift the hips up, sit nice and tall. And then as you breathe out, we're coming forwards, down over the legs. So drop the chin in just a little bit so that we're not thinking back to look out in front too much. Getting a nice stretch then through the back of the left leg. Perhaps Might be some sensation happening in the spine, into the right hip. Remember, we're not looking to come as far as we can possibly go. We're easing the body into it. Finding that stretch that we can hold for a little while. And then ease yourself up and out. We'll stretch the right leg out in front. And then if you want to have a moment before we come to the left side of rounding in, or giving your knees a little swish, windscreen white from either side. Take a moment to release off the work with the right side, and then we're going to swap. Take the left leg out in front, and we're going to come into the twist towards the left. So remember, you've got the option of keeping the foot on the inside or the outside of the thigh, depending on how the hips feel. And then we'll breathe out to help us come into the twist, wrapping the right arm around the left, coming to look to the side, to the back. Left hand's there just for a little bit of guidance with the shoulder. Shouldn't really be much weight. We're not leaning into that back hand. We're sitting through the pelvis, through the sit bones. And then we can notice how this stretch makes us feel, where we feel the twist. And it might be different on one side, of course, to the other. Checking in with the breathing. Has it changed how we want to breathe? And maybe some of these stretches actually change how we feel emotionally. Maybe something feels really nice and we feel really happy, but maybe there is a pose that doesn't feel as good and we actually get a little bit more wound up about it. It's all learning, letting us know how we're doing. Okay, a couple more moments here. And then we'll release the twist. And whilst we've got the left leg bent, we will bring it in onto the side of the thigh. And if you want that little bit of, right, cushion sliding away from me. A little bit of relief for the hips and the spine. Give yourself something to just sit on the edge of, and then in your own time. Again, we'll take a breath up to help us find the pose, and we're coming forwards. So maybe this one is perhaps feeling, you notice the sensations less in the leg, more in the back or the hip. Maybe it's the whole way around, legs, backs, hips. We've got each side, each pose is going to be different. And remember, it can be different from day to day. Okay, so we are going to slowly ease ourselves up and out and bring the soles of the feet together. So we can keep that support underneath the hips if we need it. Feet are as close in towards the hips or as far away as we need to go. And then we can hold and breathe here. So the knees are thinking of stretching outwards rather than downwards. If you want to take a little fold forwards, we can. Again, just watch that if we are folding forwards, we're not then looking out in front. So we curve the head back. We're going to take a little dip at the chin. Not looking for a big round, but just a little dip at the chin, just so that we keep that long line stretch through the back of the body. So again, think about how this stretch makes us feel physically, emotionally, what's going on in the mind, what's going on with the breath. And if as we relax and rest into the stretch, you feel you can take your pose a little bit further. That is absolutely fine. We're just not looking to keep pushing right at the very edge of the stretch. And then slowly ease yourself up and out. Okay, so move any support you've had in underneath the hips out the way. Bend the knees. Take the hands a little way back behind you. We're going to press into the hands and the feet. Breathe out. A little bit of work for your glute muscles just to help squeeze upwards. Head can drop back if you want, but we don't need to. We can stay looking forwards if it feels better. So after kind of that quite intense folding in for a little bit, we're just opening out through the front. And we're going to keep opening through the front and come into a kneeling position. So there's a couple of options. We're going to try and keep the knees together. We can kneel on the ankles. Now, if you have problems with your ankles and you can't sort of flatten them out properly or take any weight, pop something in underneath you. That just releases some of the pressure off. So it'll be up to you how much support you need. Our other option is to actually take the feet a little bit wider so we start to sit between the heels. Now again, that might be all right, or we might want to do it so that we take a block, bolster, blanket in between so that we've got a little bit more support. And think about how the stretch makes you feel through the whole of the body. It doesn't just have to be in that lower part. If you're feeling strain, stress somewhere in the body, change it, adapt it to help you sustain the stretch. Okay, so we're going to stay here then just for a moment. We're sitting in our kneeling position. And then to open through the front, see if you can start to take the hands back a little way and lean backwards. So that might just be on the fingertips. Maybe you're on the hands. If you do want to come down further, come onto the elbows, maybe even take the head back, by all means do, but choose the position that you know works for you and works for you on the day that you are in. So I'm going to stay back here. So if you are on your elbows, remember it's the same as when we were in that all four position. We don't have to drop back the hip. We can stay looking forwards. big opening through the front of the body. So slowly easing ourselves out of the position. Push yourselves forwards onto hands and knees. We'll take 2 or 3 rounds of cat stretch. It'll be nice and slow. It can be a little bit faster, just enjoying the movement through the back. And then take a rounded position. So this might be, if your knees and your ankles and everything are happy, you can come forwards into child's pose. If the legs feel like they've had enough of that bent position, then come round onto your back and hug the knees in there. We just want to round and release the back for a moment. Okay, sit yourself up, whether you're kneeling or on your back. And we're going to stretch the feet out in front. Give the knees a little shake. Circle the ankles round. Some quite intense closing and angles for the knees and the ankles. Ankles. So we'll just allow the blood to rush back around those joints. And then come back into your comfortable seated position. So pop the support back in underneath the hips if you need it. We'll try and sit cross-legged, but of course we don't have to. And then hands back on your lap or on your thighs, wherever you were when we started. We're just going to finish with those 3 rounds of breath. So close the eyes if that's okay. 3 slow rounds of breath to finish. Noticing the start of the inhale, noticing the start of the exhale. And when you've had your 3 rounds, we're going to breathe in, sweep the arms up. Exhaling as the hands come down to your center. Bow your head to your fingers. Thank yourself for taking a little bit of time to work on your body today, and we'll see our practice in together with Namaste. Well, thank you ever so much. I hope your body enjoyed that, but I hope that also you got a little bit out of that for the calm in the mind, turning down the energy and just relieving a little bit of tension perhaps in your emotions too. So even though it's a physical practice for the body, there is so much more that goes on. So leave any comments, questions below, have a thumbs up if you liked it, and of course join me again on the mat next time. So subscribe to the channel now, and I'll see you then. Okay, take care now. Bye.